give you the backstory to kind of before the question that Susan came and asked me of, hey, I want to join this rat business. I'm going to kind of tell you a little story about kind of where we were and what our life kind of looked like. So in the very, after high school, we all, Susan and I both met at UT Knoxville. And yeah, that's right, go Vols. So Susan goes to nursing school, and I go back to Belmont, and through my whole college student loans, when I got out, I'm talking Belmont is a private school, it's not cheap. So I've got a pretty good amount of debt to pay off. Thankfully, no credit card debt, but student loans, there's a lot. So when we got married, she knew this, and we got into a little rental house, and I got a job at a company that, I started from ground zero and started working my way up in the corporate world, and I was the director of operations. And my boss told me, said, I want you, and by this point, I'm managing pretty close to about 70, 80 people. And he said, I want you to go get this certification. And when you get this certification, I'm going to give you a raise. I'm like, great, that's awesome, because my wife is pregnant, we're expecting a baby. And it's called a Six Sigma certification. This isn't just something you can go, it took me almost a year, 1 full year I spent, and you can ask her, studying, reading through books, a full year, dedicated my life to this. I finally get it. This was 2 months.
I think she was a month old.
No, daughter was about a little over a month old. I finally get this certification. I'm so excited. I go to my boss. I'm like, I got it. That's great, Michael, but we're not going to give you a raise. Devastated. And at this point, we had anticipated the raise. We had talked about it. We were kind of, so my wife had, she's a registered nurse. So she was working in the hospitals. And by the way, being a registered nurse, she used to cry to me every morning that when I would drive her to work. I just can't be here today. This is, there's too much stress or too much. So there comes to a point where we had some savings. We had 9 months savings. And you think 9 months savings would get you through a lot, but, give it 2 or 3 months and all of a sudden you're looking there going, I've only got a few more months left until, we're in a rental house. We're going to be out. Finally, I wrote down to her and I said, Susan, and I'm in tears, completely in tears. I said, there's basically 3 options we have. Option 1 is you're going to have to go back to work. You're going to at least have to make $300 to $500 a month for us just to keep going, because right now at this point, 2 more months from now, I won't even be able to cover rent and stuff. And I'm not saying that we weren't. We were living a very simple life, and at this point, and I didn't even have a car. I was actually biking to work at some points. Yeah.
If you're from Nashville, Old Hickory Boulevard, okay, he biked up and down that every single day in the rain, because I had the car. So, it was just crazy.
My car broke down. So, it's what you got to do, right? So anyway, we had a need. We had some reason to want us to get in this business. Everyone is different. You may not have a story. You may be similar to us. You may have a completely different story. But in the very, very beginning, we had a need that needed to be met. And I'll never forget when Susan came to me and said, I want to start this business. And I'm just thinking, okay, honey, your money is your money. My money, if you want to spend your allowance right now on trying to do that, I've been burned in so many companies. I've been burned, with network marketing in the past. And I just got to tell you before we keep going with our stories, the difference in all of that, and I've told people this before, network marketing, direct sales is just a different type of business model. It's not, anything different. Now here's what the catch. If you want to go open up a pizza store, or you want to go open up anything, you've got to find products that can sell. You've got to be able to find products that people want. if you get into any network marketing company and it's a product that you're trying to push so hard that you can't sell, there's a reason. All of a sudden, we get into this network marketing company, and I'll let my wife kind of go from here, but people start coming to you. These products are way, and I keep saying that. Guys, listen, at first, I was like, a body wrap, really? Okay, there is way, if you don't feel comfortable with talking to someone about a body wrap, talk about the greens. Because all of a sudden, you're going to realize the power of these products, and you're going to be like, hey, this is going to help somebody. Guys get stretch marks too. I'm sorry. I've got some friends that have personally called me, not wanting to post it on Facebook, and said, look, I want to try this. Just because they know what we do. So I'm going to let my wife tell a little bit more about the story.
It's just so funny, like, hearing him right now, because if you have a significant other that is not, maybe they're still supportive of you, but they are not wanting to participate in this business. That was my husband, Michael Wade. It was my money, it was my $99, and I even had to use my credit card because I had so many people wanting to be wrapped that I started crying because I didn't have enough wraps. So I did, back when we had the big booster, I got like 2 of them my first month. I was wrapping 5 or 6 people a day. That was my why. I was not going to go back to work. I was not going to live with my parents because that was the other option, or a car. So I went after it and I had fun. I didn't compare myself to anybody above me at the time because, to be honest, I didn't really know my upline as much. My enroller had just signed up a few months previously, and she didn't really know how to answer a lot of my questions, and so we kind of were just in this like, okay, we got to wrap people, and that's all I did, which is great with our company because guess what, you guys, like, I'm a red personality where I have to, and I have some green in there, like, I need to know everything and be in charge. And I started crying 2 days in because I wanted to know everything about the compensation plan and how to get that money. But you don't have to know those things. All I did was wrap people. And so, going along, my husband just kind of was on the sidelines. And although he wasn't like attacking me or putting me down, I think for a while maybe some Facebook comments like that I was posting too much on Facebook because a lot of people were saying that. But again, I didn't care, and that's a lot of the reason I am here now is because I didn't care. And so I just wrapped people like crazy. And over the course, I didn't go Ruby until my 3rd month. I finally figured out charting and what it needed, what would take me to get to Diamond. And Terry Wood called me. I didn't even go to my first conference because I was like, well, I don't need to go to conference. Like, that's just kind of, I was just so busy rapping. I was like, whatever. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know the importance of conference. But I still went Ruby in my 3rd month. I was Ruby my 4th. I went double Diamond in my 5th. So I didn't even register at Emerald or Diamond. I went Ruby double Diamond. Y'all, this right now, this is it. Like, this is like momentum time. And that's when I went Ruby double Diamond. He's still at this point not really involved. I ended up signing him up in April just to kind of be, start building his leg a little bit. I wanted to make that extra paycheck. He wasn't getting it. I was. So I was getting 2 paychecks, and it was pretty nice.
Let me say this. Until like 3 months ago, every dime went into her account. And you want to know what, as a guy, okay, Pam Souter said this the best. We went to a one team, one mission the other week. She said, the day her husband spoke French, she said, you add a comma, and it's when are we going to get that money? What are we going to do with that money?
And so I said, okay, honey, you go. I said,
put it all in one account and just be going, what do I got to do to join?
So they announced that good bonus for the double diamond, and I said, well, if you can get double diamond, then we'll make you an account, and it can go. And he did. So he went double diamond, and then he went triple diamond last month, so now he's actually, so anyways, but what's so great, okay, so I went double diamond, my 5th month. Y'all, September was boot camp. and for Seattle. I had been chosen, I submitted my story, and I'd been chosen to speak on stage, and I'll never forget, I was like, they chose me, out of, like, all these stories, they chose our story, and I was so hesitant, because I knew he was going to be on stage with me, and I was like, he's going to run into all these couples, and all of them are on board, and what is he going to say? He's going to rip the mic for me and, like, say something negative, like, I just didn't know. And I bought him an It Works shirt. I told him, I had it in my hand on the way to the airport. I started crying.
No. This story right now we're about to tell you was kind of my turning point, and both I think for our business the biggest turning point, because she kind of started. I'm gonna be honest with most men in here are stubborn. The reason why ladies right now are at the top is because I think they get it. To be honest with you, guys are just now starting to get it. They're just now starting to see it. I've got to give a lot of these ladies credit. So, anyway, Seattle. That's right. Anyway, Seattle, on the plane, going to the airport. Will you wear this shirt? I'm not wearing a shirt. I've got a nice shirt on. I don't need to wear your shirt. We'll get to the airport.
Or a boot camp wearing red.
I'm sorry. So it starts to intensify by the time we get to the airport, and it gets even worse on the plane. And by the time we land, she is crying, literally in tears. I'm like, you know what? Fine, I will go wear your freaking shirt. So I go into the bathroom, I put it on, I come back out. I'm like, you happy? Okay, great. So I'm here for your company. Let's go. Let's go do this. I didn't even know, honestly, when she said she was chosen. To me, it was kind of like, I'm going. I didn't get it. So I get to conference. I start meeting people, and I hear these stories. Met a guy and sat down with him. That's of how his life has changed just by taking these greens. I really didn't know what those were at that point. I started truly understanding, what these products are doing for people. Yes, you see the body wraps and how it's helping people their outer image, but also from the inside, that's just as important as well. Getting people healthy. And I kind of say like this, we're in an industry right now and in a world in the USA with people going to fast food places and eating where you're getting substance but not nourishment. And our bodies are malnourished so bad. It's incredible. And all of a sudden, when you start getting healthy from the inside, your body starts to actually function like it's supposed to. Some of these allergies you develop could, potentially have happened from malnourishment. There's things that happen when you're out of whack, your cellular levels. I'm not a medical professional, but it happens. So I finally saw the light, and I'm telling you, there was a fire that was lit up under me, and I came back, and our business launched from that point because I realized I could help people.
Yeah, so once he came on board, my team has completely changed. Annalise, who's on my team, she could tell you, when I just feel like he does so much for my team. He encourages, he comes up with these ideas like doing, video contests, getting people again on their personal page and showing people like how much fun this business is. He brings a lot of fun to my team. I'm sitting there being like the type A, control freak behind the computer, making sure everything's okay. And he's the relational one. And I love it because it's kind of what Jeree and Chad do. She's behind the computer and he does a lot of the three-way calls and does the relational stuff. So real quickly, this is our wife. Aww. This is Vivian, and she's our world. And she, Michael talked about this horrible job that he had, $30,000 a year. He now was able to take over the family business. And what's so great, he can't technically quit the business because it's a family business. But by the next 2 months, we're saying around June, which is when Whitley Elizabeth will be born. By June, he will be home. He'll be home because he'll be able to hire somebody in using the money that we've made. So this is our little girl. She gets to wake up and see both of her parents every single day. He's the one, making the breakfast. Sometimes he lets me sleep in because I'm up till like 1 in the morning. But we balance each other. And you guys, we went from living, if you see our before picture, no, I did not go and knock those down to take this picture. I actually drove by recently just to get a reminder of where we came from. It just brings me to tears, and we just were able to purchase our very first home in December, and we're now in Mount Juliet. And so if you're sitting there and you just don't feel like your husband's supporting you, guess what? It can happen. He's sitting here right now. We are doing this full time together. We are on fire. We are ready to roll. We're getting him to presidential because guess what? He didn't start off being my strongest leg. I focused on so many other people. Now I want him to be my strongest leg. We're going for the bank, not necessarily the rank, but we are going to go ambassador soon. So I'm going to let Michael really quickly talk about Instagram because that's a lot of what where our business has grown. I'm behind the scenes on Facebook and he does Instagram.
Very, very briefly with Instagram. So when you start out, you're going to have to choose a social platform. There's different types, and you need to know from each social platform what it is and what it does. The most non-personal platform is Instagram. Facebook is your most personal. People want to see, touch, feel, know who you are. On Instagram, it's advertising and sales. It is not getting to know somebody. Okay? Get that first. Don't connect your Facebook with your Instagram and vice versa. Disconnect it right now. Hands down. She does Facebook. I'll do a little Facebook, but you have to be able to separate. If you go to Pinterest, Pinterest is different than Facebook. You're not going to act like personal on Pinterest, would you? No. It's completely different. All right, that's a big, big key. Now, when you finally get on Instagram, the first thing people do is they want to post a picture about a body wrap, for example. And on that body wrap picture, well, what naturally would you think of? Well, if you're new to Instagram, you're going to hashtag body wrap, hashtag skinny, hashtag, don't do that.
Yeah, it works.
It works. Don't do that. You first want to think about this as streams of rivers, okay? You got these rivers flowing of hashtags, because people search hashtags, right? You do not have to put a picture connect with what it looks like into that hashtag. You want to hashtag Australia. It doesn't have to connect. And that's hard for people to realize. I've had people go, why are you putting it on? Why are you hashtagging this? Okay, well, he just saw it, and I did my job. Who cares? Spring break came up. Because I went to UT Knoxville, there's a boxing weekend. I use fraternities, sororities. I use their events. I hashtag. But you see, you could start local. You could focus in, and you need to find what type of people you're wanting to market to. Your products are different, so you're going to market your greens differently than you're going to market, and it's all advertising and sales. And that's why I've really enjoyed it, is because it's trial and error. So you try to see what type of groups of people are using things, and you can start hashtagging into what type of streams of hashtags they're searching. She kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, at 2 o'clock in the morning, what are you searching for? There's NPC, which is like bodybuilding. There's so many types of people and demographics and groups. We're in 16 countries. Go research hashtags, find people in those countries, see what hashtags they're using. See what local places are around there. When you go visit places and you're going on trips, do a little research. See what type of local things are around there, and try to also getting connected with their web and their stream of thoughts. So that's what's really been successful, and how I've made it successful. And we started out also with Instagram, and we've talked about this before. don't expect to get lots and lots of loyal customers within the first 3 to 4 months of starting an Instagram account. Period. Because when you go on an Instagram account, there's 3 numbers at the top. Okay? How many people are following you? How many people you're following? And how many posts? Those 3 numbers. I could show 2 profiles up here right now. One with lots of numbers and one with little numbers. And I said, if you were to choose 1 or 2, who would you buy from? The little one. No. People want to see that you're going to be around. People want to see, yeah. You're going to at least need to have 2,000 or 3,000 posts out there. You're going to at least need to start having a base of followers and following people. That builds trust. Once you have trust, people are finally going to start buying from you. So if you have questions, just let me know. Call me.
Just to close, if you're a guy out there and you're wondering how you can support your wife in this, besides helping out around the house while she's busy doing wrap parties, you need to babysit. But get on Instagram and learn it. And like he said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but that can be something that's huge. It can change your business. I mean, we just heard from somebody that went diamond over Instagram. So, guys, don't sit there and think that you just have to kind of sit and watch and wait. I mean, really take this seriously because your business can change.
Thank you.